woman. It's all in us. Anything you want done, baby, we do it naturally.
Yes.
Hey,
And that's what you're going to get on our podcast because we do like to sing. So we will bust out in a song at any moment. Hey everybody. What up though?
What up though?
Thank you for stopping by and watching us on Clink. The recap.
The
recap
of the Johnson.
The Johnson season 2, episodes 1 and 2. We're going to recap. So if this is your first time stopping by, welcome.
Hey.
We are a couple of sister friends. We are filmmakers. We are podcasters. We are all around creatives.
We are every woman. It's all in us.
Every woman. It's all in us.
Anything you want done, baby, we do it naturally.
Yes. And that's what you're going to get on our podcast because we do like to sing. So we will bust out in a song at any moment. All right.
We are so glad that you're here to join us today.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and hit that like, go ahead and comment and subscribe. We say this every week. Y'all going to do it one day now. Come on.
Subscribe.
Hey, subscribe.
Subscribe.
You're going to want to. And we said hello to our new subscribers.
Hi.
And just so you know, y'all, we are on the road to 200 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
So spread the word. So once we get our 200, we are going to have a nice giveaway for you all. So, and the only way that you can enter to win is if you're a subscriber.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to. It's going to be something really dope.
Yes, because we're classy and we're sassy.
Yes.
And our gift will be just as classy and sassy as we are.
So y'all know if you are returning, hey y'all, what's up? We know we like to set an ambiance. Usually we have a candle burning. On today, we have incense because we switch it out.
What's the flavor for the savor for the incense, girl?
It is intercom.
We like the calm and the peace. You know, I really didn't want to go to one of those meditation bowl classes.
Oh, the healing bowl.
Yes,
I want to do that too.
You can just lay down, girl. We have to find one. We're gonna find one, and we're gonna set up a. Oh, we should do that for our viewers. That would be fun. Just set the camera up and let them see us go.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Get those chakras in place and all that good stuff.
Oh, that good.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Yes. So
go ahead and start us off. Also, y'all, those of you who are listening to us on every streaming platform, if you want to see us, all you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, All Things Cam and K, or you can type in the YouTube search bar, Clink with Cam and K, and we'll come up that way also. And people are like, what? You're on the podcast? Yes, we are streaming on every podcast, but we're doing it through another venue. So not a venue, but another streaming, which is it's my podcast, Kicking It with K Marie. So if you go to Kick It with K Marie on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Apple, you'll hear our
All Things Cam and K.
All Things Cam and K.
Yes. All that good stuff.
You know, it's just like when folks put their movies on Netflix or
it's just the umbrella.
Yeah, it's just
an umbrella of greatness, y'all.
Yeah. So go ahead and start us off while I like this insert.
Okay, girl. Well, it is season 2, everybody. And as we have said over and over again, we love this. You can find Johnson on Hulu and on Amazon Prime. So Jervis is winking his eye. Jervis is so self-absorbed. He is cute and hilarious at the same
He is.
time.
They
He's
all are.
come on, my eye hurts when I blink. And so Greg is like, why are you blinking that hard? What's wrong with you? So I love the fact that him and Jervis had a Jervis and Greg had a come to
Jarvis.
Jervis
Jar.
jar. Well, I have a friend named Jervis Canty.
Really?
Hi, Jervis. If you
Okay, see,
ever
that's
see
why
this,
you
so
go
I
there.
always say
Okay.
Jervis, but his name is
Okay.
Jarvis, Jarvis.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend's name is Jervis. Okay,
Okay.
so he and Greg have a come to Jesus moment, and Jarvis thanks
Mhm.
him for being there because out of
Yes.
everybody, he did not expect for him to answer the phone, but he did.
He not only just answered the phone, but he bailed him out too.
He came through,
He
and that's
came
what
through.
friends do. We can have not agree and see eye to eye, but a real friend is gonna come through. Not when you're trying to put them in harm's way,
Is that
but they're gonna be there for you. So Greg says that he cannot believe that Lisa was gonna leave him there overnight,
girl? I can.
and she gonna tell him that she felt that it was a learning moment. Are you crazy? A black man in jail is
A
never a
black
learning
man in
moment,
jail. She's so out of touch.
especially when he didn't do anything wrong. You were in
Exactly.
the car, you saw how he was mistreated and everything, all because he wouldn't give them. He was just a little tipsy. They had no right to do what they did.
Right, because
So
Jarvis says that, and that shed a little light on their differences. That's what he told Greg, and they're helping. They're at Omar's house, new house. They're helping him move.
mhm,
So that's what friends do for free.
yeah, I just can't still. They do help for free.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she just felt like it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he need to get rid of her ass. I'm just saying. But we don't know what's gonna happen next. So Omar
I do. Okay.
disrupts the moment because, like she said, they're moving. Omar is
Yes.
moving into his own house, and so then we find out that
What?
no Naomi and Omar are still together, but they are going to counseling and they're
Yeah.
trying to rebuild their
They're
relationship.
dating again,
Mm-hmm.
and Greg did apologize to Jarvis. He acknowledged that people do change, and he acknowledged Jarvis's change, and I thought that was a touching moment. I'm like, oh,
It was because sometimes with each other we cannot understand certain things about each other until certain moments happen. And this was a pinnacle moment in just life and in relationships, and especially what was going on in the black community that is
mm-hmm.
constantly going on in the black community, that it forced Jarvis to get in touch with who he really is.
And I like when Omar said, he's been going to therapy, him and Naomi,
Mhm.
and he was saying that what the therapist said, once a man gets his woman, he doesn't do the work to keep her. I was like, oh,
You better preach,
preach,
preach.
think about it.
Think
Okay.
about it. Yeah, and it was so awesome. But the funny part about this was when Greg dropped the damn box.
Yeah,
And then he picked it back up. Like he didn't do that. He was like, ooh. I thought that was so cute because
that was. I saw that. I peeped that
I
too.
was like,
The little nuances and things that they do.
that real ish.
Yeah.
So he talked to Keith and they
Keith.
asked, has he talked to Keith? And
Yeah.
he's like, Omar's like, no, I haven't talked to him. So says he needs to know what's going on because I'm tired of lying.
Yeah, and I think that they told him that Keith is taking boxing lessons.
Can you see Keith taking boxing lessons? That was hilarious within itself.
Yeah, because it did cut to him taking boxing lessons in the park at it was like a women's class.
Like he was going doing fake Tae.
He was the only guy in the class.
Yeah. So but Omar feels horrible because he said he messed up big time and he's trying to figure out a way to talk to Keith. But so he does want to repair the relationship.
Yeah, and we learn in this sequence of scenes that Jarvis is suing the police department.
Because Jarvis is like, thank you for offering us pizza, Omar, for helping you move. But I gotta go because he's on his way to a deposition.
Mm-hmm. So on his way to his deposition, he sees Danny, who is holding a protest.
Daddy got her
And
people together. She all organized. She
Danny
ain't playing no games.
is for it. I love her. And so she was saying how she organized everything.
And his attorney was like, do I need to call the police? He's like, no. He's like, no. So it goes to
Right.
show that whenever people feel uncomfortable, they want to instantly call the police, and it was nothing that was warranting
Mm-hmm.
the police to be called because they were doing a peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm.
But Danny, he felt a certain type of way because Danny said that we have to protect our black men. And I
Yes.
was like, you better protect them.
Right, because she was like, because we would want you to do the same for us.
Yes. And,
Hello.
and keyword black man. She was protecting a black man
Mm-hmm.
who was standing up, who she felt would protect her as
She
well.
did more for him than his wife did.
Supportive wise. And that
Mm-hmm.
was a key component because black men need our support. When you got a good black man, girls, you better support him. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And then you
Mm-hmm.
wonder how another sister try to sneak in. Not that it's right,
And keyword
but
is a good one
a good man.
because you could be
They hard to
supporting
find.
another one, no good man. Don't waste your support on that type of man.
All right.
I'm speaking from experience.
Support a man who supports you.
Yes.
So Jervis thanks her, and you can see that little twinkle in his eye. Like he like, wow, that you would do
Mm-hmm.
this for me, that you
Yeah.
stand up for
It
me
was
because
thoughtful.
yeah, and that helped him see that understand in that moment that some things only a black woman can understand
Ooh,
about a black man. Not being
that's
racist,
that's
but
I
that's
mean
just the
that's
truth.
facts.
Yeah.
It's
So
facts.
it cuts to Keith in the record store, and he's
Mm-hmm.
looking for the king of soul. What do you say? The
Rock,
king of rock
rock
and
and roll,
roll.
Little Richard.
Yeah, he's
Second
referring to.
album, the
Yeah,
second album or something like
and
that.
it's called like what is it? The album is called The
This
King. The King.
something, girl.
I thought it was the King of Rock and
So
Roll or something. Anyway,
yeah, so he
yeah.
sees Jackie, the waitress from the atrium, at the record store, and they spark up conversation.
And she let him know I look different. I know I look different outside of my uniform. She
Mm-hmm.
look cute. I
She did
like
look
her.
cute. I like her too. And Keith mentions that he's a photographer, and Jackie was like, "What?
She's
I
like,
want you to shoot my 30th birthday photo shoot."
so then Keith is kind of like beating around the bush, but we know he's a little jaded because Bianca used him for so long to do her photos, and she never paid him, even though
Mm-hmm.
she promised to pay. And so uh, she notices that he's beating around the bush a little bit, and she says, "Oh no, 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 honey, I will pay you." And he's like taken aback, like, "What?"
Yeah, and this is exactly what she said because I loved it. I was like, you better go ahead, girl. So Jackie said she believes in paying people their worth. She said, why would I shortchange you and pay the next man full price? And Keith
Hmm.
was just taken aback, girl.
He was. And I love the message that it sends to our people. People, pay your people. Stop
Yes,
always thinking that we can get
and getting a
everything
hookup
free
or
from each other. If
yes,
somebody offers or they do it for you
yes.
out of love, that's fine. But when you come to somebody, come with your pocketbook. Okay, just like everyone else. All right. At the deposition, Jervis is tripping again. Make sure you get my right side because he made sure that lineup was
Girl.
right this time. Now I'll tell you that.
Right. So yep. So he is in front of the police chief, who's not being cooperative at all by because the lawyer wants to release the body cam to the public because
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do generally, and the chief is not
He's
cooperating. He said
very
that
standoffish.
very, and he's saying that the investigation is still open. The reason why, but we know that's not the
He's
reason
trying to
why.
protect his people. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and you really need to make police officers pay for what they do when they're wrong.
Hmm.
People do make mistakes, but say you made a mistake or say you were wrong.
Right, because Jarvis said that the police chief or anybody underneath him has not held the officers accountable yet. They're justifying their actions at this point.
Yep. So Omar and Greg talk about Omar. Omar and Greg
They're
talk
having
about
they're having a
Greg
sipping
being
chat.
right about Greg being single. So he asked Greg, like, what's going on? How's it going? Of course, Greg says it's great. Everything is great. And then he says, he doesn't have to worry about the toilet. He don't have to worry about nobody fussing at
Kind
him
of
and
he up
blah,
there
blah, blah.
fronting.
He's a horrible liar because he knows he misses that girl.
Hmm.
And he hates it, but he knows that he has to get back out there. But he's not ready.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a job because Uber deactivated his account because he didn't handle his business
Yeah,
as
and
far as getting his car
Omar
fixed.
as he was like, if he hear anything, he'll basically he'll keep his ear open if he hears anything. And right in the middle of the conversation, Kayla FaceTimes his dad, and he was acting like a little white child girl at the end. And he was talking about his mama
Well, honey,
about his
that's
damn phone.
girl, damn. In the black community, you would not have a head after damn. You would have been decapitated by the backhand. Don't play. Do not play, little Caleb. That's a Caleb. But and she is like so appalled because we know that Naomi is bougie. She's like, But then she showed that sister girl. She was like, who you talking to?
Right.
She's like, I will hurt him. And I love the way that
Mhm.
Omar he's not he knows he's like, don't you talk to your mother like that?
Exactly.
He
Exactly.
defended her, but I love that he's so level headed. And when
Yeah.
he handles things, he handles them such a manly way. I love his character. Love
I like him. Thomas Q.
it.
Okay.
Oh.
So the boys minus Keith, because they did invite him.
But it didn't show up.
He didn't show up. They go to Eugene's spot. And girl, did you see? You know, Cedric the Entertainer is one of the executive producers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if you peeped between Eugene, the Higley, and Earthquake was
Booker.
the entertainer, Cedric the Entertainer, his cigars. It said the entertainer. I'm like, well, you better go ahead
You
and
better
try to place your
right.
own ish, okay,
Yeah.
on your show.
Well, that was smart. Okay, so then they when they all meet up, they asked, of course, where's Keith? And Omar said that he didn't know that he was going to be there, so he didn't show up. But I love the exchange where
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Eugene tells him,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, it's good that y'all keep each other in check
Mm-hmm.
because that lets you know that you got good brothers around when y'all tell each other the truth. And so Booker's like, are you still basically messing with Viva La Loca? Well, he didn't say that, but he said
Right.
something to that effect. And, Omar like, man.
And I did like when his uncle Eugene, he told Omar, he said, you did break the code by sleeping with her.
Broke the code.
You broke the code.
Yeah.
And I like how they can hold each other accountable, tell them things.
Right. And so while they're sitting there, Naomi's at home and she's sitting there and she's talking to Caleb through the wall. And Caleb is not answering her. And she's like, you better not be on that game and this, that, and the other like mothers do. And then she keeps calling him. He doesn't answer. So she goes into his room. He's not there. She checks the top bunk. He got a dummy in there. So she goes all through the house and she cannot find him anywhere. And she calls Omar and she's
frantic.
She's like, Caleb
him.
is gone.
Yeah. She was frantic. She was, yeah. And Omar tells the fellas that Caleb is missing. The guys go out to help find him, and Eugene puts out a call to his audience on his radio show. And we see Keith is with Jarvis, and they're riding together looking for Caleb. And he was like, of course, he's like, whatever beef that he and Omar have is on pause because like he loves that kid. He has to go out there and help look for him.
And honey, Omar is losing his ish too. He is like going crazy. He's driving, he's thinking, and Greg is trying to calm him down by telling him stories like, when I was a kid, I ran away. I got 6 blocks away.
Yeah.
I came back home, and he's like, so Omar sees a guy with a bike that looks like Caleb's bike. And he pulls over and he checks that man so hard. He's like, where's my son? He throws him up against the gate. The guy's like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? He has no clue what's going on.
Yeah. I have in my notes that, because he hemmed him up against the fence and he was like, where'd you get the bike? Where'd you get the bike? And where's my son? And I love that the guy that was playing the guy, he was like, he was practically like crying. And he said, he's like, I got the bike from Walmart. It was $49.99. They was rolling back prices.
I was cracking up.
Girl, and I have in my notes too. I said, even though that man had that one scene, right? And I said he did such a phenomenal job.
Because you're gonna remember him.
You're gonna remember him. He did a great job. I believed him. He was good. See, it's people like that. They had like those small roads.
That's how Terry Crews got started. He had a small road.
Like a little small road. That's
all it takes.
I'm like, that's somebody I would put in one of my films because he just emoted so much.
And then when he left, he talking about crazy ass. He
was talking about if you broke,
right. He was talking stuff. I was like, that's what's up. But
so Omar apologized to the man.
But Omar had a breakdown.
Yeah, and he broke down crying in Greg's arms.
He just let him weep. He like, man, he's trying to console him the best way he can. Yeah. Then they are driving, it's late, and so they pull up to Omar's house.
It's the next morning around this time. It's day.
still breaking down. And
Mm-hmm.
he tells him, go on in the house and get some
Mm-hmm.
rest. And Greg sees Caleb's bike on the porch. And he's like, there's his bike right there. And so when Omar goes up to the porch, he finds Caleb sitting there
Mm-hmm.
freezing, but he's there. But the thing I loved about this scene was how Greg stayed at the car. And when Omar saw he ran, he embraced Caleb. He talked to Caleb just himself. He said, "Are you okay?" He opened the door. He ushered him in. He turned around and gave Greg a look, and Greg then got on the phone like, "I got you,"
Mm-hmm.
and called the bros and let them
Mm-hmm.
know. I thought that was so powerful because sometimes people want to be really nosy. You have to let people have their moments with
Mm-hmm.
their families, and I thought that was so powerful how he knew to step back and
Mm-hmm.
let him handle the situation with his son instead of trying to be the peanut gallery like we was looking for you.
Right.
Go sit your ass
Yeah.
down and
Right.
let people have their moment with their family.
Yeah. So the next scene, Naomi and Omar and Caleb, no, they're in at Naomi's house. And Naomi is telling Omar it's because the guy that Caleb is home, and Omar says so they don't have nothing to me driving all night. Like, no,
I love
Negro.
it. But the thing was,
So, go ahead.
I love that he didn't. She was trying to argue with him so bad. She was
Mm-hmm.
going off, and he kept his cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "You gone, black
And she said, I don't know why he would run away like that. So Caleb comes down. He said, because I miss my dad. He said he
man."
wanted to see him. That's why he left.
Right. And she was like, "You went in my purse and got the number off out of my purse." You don't go in a black woman's purse, but that's another subject. But I love how he listened to Naomi. He
Mm-hmm.
let her vent and everything without getting angry, and he told her, "We need to work this out." And he said, "I think." Due to what's going on, he told
Mm-hmm.
Caleb to go upstairs so that they could finish talking. And I love the fact that when they have this conversation, he's not in their face. Take notes, black people, white people, green people, when grown-ups are talking, kids do not to be need to be right there in their faces. You need to let grown people have conversation and have dialogue and figure it out. You don't need a child to be in between you two while you're trying to figure it out. Figure it out amongst yourselves and
Yeah.
come to them with solutions and not
Yeah.
problems.
So Keith is at his new agent's office, Nancy, and she's trying to get him to shoot an album cover of like a lesser known artist, Little Day Day. And
Little die
y'all gonna
die.
see who that is coming up. And but Keith he's really not interested. He wants to shoot a more established artist, but his agent is telling him like, basically you'll have to start low and build yourself
She
up.
said you're gonna have might have to shoot a whole lot of little
Right.
everybody's. So just trust the
Right.
process and let's go. So
Girl, Lisa.
you said Lisa what?
So yeah, Lisa said to it's Lisa and Jarvis. They're in the kitchen. So she's telling Jarvis that Karen is coming over and may bring Kevin. I'm like, girl,
And
do you
his
know?
face got so up because all the stuff that they put him through. And she's
Yes.
like, "Well, you have to understand that Karen is my friend and that's her husband. And I feel about
Right.
her just the way you feel about your
Mm-hmm.
friends." And I was like, that is not a fair
Right.
comparison with one person. But anyway, so after all, I mean, she asked him about the deposition just very nonchalantly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how? And he said, well, basically, like, oh, I thought you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, oh, okay. And then she said, well, I'm basically
She said,
traumatized.
I
And
wasn't there. She said she wasn't there for him because she couldn't step foot in that station and relive what happened. I was like, I have on my notes, nothing happened to your ass.
he looks at
It
her
was your
like, I
right,
got my ass whooped. Excuse me. I got beat up, police brutalized.
girl.
And you're going to sit up here and say you couldn't go in there because of what happened, but you wouldn't get me out of jail.
Right.
That's
And he
the
said,
math ain't
sorry, and he
mathing.
said sarcastically, I'm sure it was very hard for you.
Yeah, and then after that,
What
she
she
still
say,
made a
girl?
little snide
She did.
remark. And then you can tell in this moment they are having zero understanding. You can tell the friction is
Mm-hmm.
building and it's deeper than it looks.
And I have in my notes, I said, Lisa said the exact same thing a lot of white people say. Well, if you just have
Com-
complied, then this would not have happened.
So you're sitting in your seat talking to the police officer and you get drug out the car. What is there to comply about when you're not
Exactly.
doing anything wrong? He was not the driver. So he should not have ever been
Been
pulled out of the
asked for his
car.
ID. And Jarvis said, "That's not true." He said, "My rights were violated." And he said, if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. And she was like, "Okay, Greg, see you later." I was like,
This. Hmm. Okay, so Omar goes to talk to Keith. The bros go with him in the car. They all are together, but Keith doesn't know the other two are there. So he goes to the door by himself and he tells them before he gets out the car,
Mhm.
if I'm not back in 20 minutes,
Mhm.
no, I'll make it 10.
Right.
Come in and get me, because he doesn't know what Keith's going through,
Mhm.
or if his boxing lessons have paid off. He don't know that
Right.
yet.
Right. So Omar, Keith opened up the door. Omar thanks Keith for helping him look for Caleb, and he said, "I didn't do it for you. I did it for him." So they go upstairs. They chop it up. Omar is apologizing for what he did. Um, and Keith, you know, gives this monologue saying how he was like, "I know why you did it." This baffled me. He was like, "Because you couldn't stand a woman choosing me
Me.
over here." I was like, "Bianca didn't choose you, boo.
She didn't. She
She
was
didn't
spinning
like
you the whole
you.
time. She was playing you
She
like the
friend zoned you."
from the beginning and the end and everything else. Because she's even said at the end, that's my
Yes.
friend. I'm here for my friend.
Right.
But she was using that friend. But
Exactly.
so he
Mhm.
just
So they were,
talking, and
talking.
then the other bros bust in. They're like, "What's going on?" And Keith is startled. He's like, "What the heck are they doing
Right.
here?" So then Omar. The thing I did like, he did build him up, and he did give
Mm-hmm.
Keith a lot of compliments, and he was just saying, "You are a genuine person.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever change for anybody." And he was
Yes.
like, Bianca was not for you, man.
Exactly.
And he
And
just,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and he was like, he said, "I just want my friend back."
he's like, "We haven't hung out in over a month, and all
Mm-hmm.
of us miss you. They all need to be together." I love that they have such a wonderful relationship
Yeah.
together.
And then Keith said the only way that they can kind of like smooth it out and get back is if they
Duke it out,
box it out.
and I'm like, "Boy, bye." When I saw that, I was like, "Boy,
Like, do
bye."
you see him or do you see you?
And when they got to the
Like,
ring, honey, Keith don't want to
girl.
take his shirt off. And I'm like, "Boy, you look like a noodle. You cute though." But Keith was really like feeling himself like
He
it,
was feeling
he
himself.
was delusional. Like in his mind, like he had dreamt or had this thing of imagery about how this fight was gonna go. But we all standing there like, "What?"
Girl. And it was so cute because Jarvis was Omar's coach, in the corner. And Greg was Keith's coach. And Jarvis, because they was, sparring, trying
Getting
to
ready
getting ready.
and giving them advice on what to
And so,
do.
yeah, and I like Jarvis told Omar, he was like, "You might want to, stop because you don't have that much stamina. You big." And he was like, "I got
Right?
stamina."
He said, "You sweating already,
He
man."
was like, "You breathing hard right now. We haven't even started." And then you heard when Greg told Keith, like, "If he knocks you down, then stay down."
Right. Then he's talking about, but one more thing. Let's make a friendly wager. If he knocks him out in the first minute, then we're gonna bet $100, or the first 30. And so they were having banter back and forth if it was gonna be a minute or 30 seconds. And I was
So
like
yeah,
laughing so hard. And Keith comes out the corner jumping around like a damn fool.
but he did hit Omar with his right hook. Okay, and Omar was a little shaking. He was against the ropes a little bit.
But reflexes.
And
When
then,
that happened, Eye of the Tiger came out.
girl, when Omar uppercutted the F out of Keith and knocked him the F out, I was cracking up. And I like the POV how they did. They was all like looking the POV, from Keith's
Mm-hmm.
POV because he was on the ground. And the three guys were just looking
They looking
and
at him
they
like,
lied to him.
and they lied to
They
Keith.
lied.
Well, actually, Greg
Greg
lied. Greg was
lied.
like, "Both of you knocked each other out at the same time." And I think Greg was wise to do that, because if not, Keith would have never let it go. It would have just been
Girl.
going
He know
on
his
and
friend. He
on
know
and
his
on.
friend.
Yes, but that was so funny because Keith was talking junk like, "I hit him. I knocked him out." And so finally, what are we doing? Oh,
Jarvis and
Jarvis is,
Kevin.
yeah, Jarvis
Mm-hmm.
is talking to Kevin. He does not want to talk to Kevin. He just wants Kevin out of his face.
Mm-hmm.
and they go back and forth, and then finally,
They're trying to see what they have in common
he
because they
says,
know that their wives are best friends and
yeah.
they're gonna have to see each
And
other.
basically, Jarvis is like, I don't want to talk to you. We ain't got nothing in common. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite color is blue. He like, I didn't want to know what your favorite color was. That was so hilarious to me. But then the thing happened where Kevin tells Jarvis about pillow talk that Karen's been having
Girl.
with that Lisa came back and told Karen everything
And remember, you know,
that
and
Jarvis said during pillow talk about how she didn't like Kevin. He didn't like Kevin and stuff. I'm like,
right.
really?
And you know, that brought up that triggered our sip and chat about pillow talk that we had a couple weeks ago. I was like, look at that.
You can't
That
go.
pillow talk can go wrong sometimes. You gotta shut up.
Yeah, and especially you can't be telling people the pillow talk that you have when you pillow talking. Because that can ruin the relationship.
Ooh,
because
girl.
when you and your mate, significant other are kicking it, they're confiding in you, they're telling you stuff that they are entrusting you with. And if you go back and tell somebody else, that's like that can break the total trust. It's like, I told you, I didn't tell them if I want to tell them.
Exactly.
So ladies and gentlemen, learn how to be quiet and keep stuff in confidence in your relationship, because once the trust is gone. I was pissed off when he said that. I was like, what? If you could have seen Jarvis's face, he was looking like, what?
Oh, okay.
So she went back and told him everything.
Everything.
But then he felt a little compassion for him when he said, well, you know, my father fired me. So yeah, he may be a trust fund baby, but he got fired. So Jarvis, I like Jarvis. He was cold. And then he mentions Kevin mentions that he mentions that he was a semi-professional poker player. And now when he said that sparked Jarvis's interest, because they want to get Uncle Eugene back really bad. He said that man has cost him, he paid his mortgage probably at least 3 times. He beat him so bad.
Yeah. So Jarvis meets the fellas at the pool hall, and the guys tell the guy they came around because Keith was talking junk, and they was like, actually, only you got knocked out, and Jarvis was like, oh, finally.
They didn't want to keep telling that lie.
No.
See, if Keith would have kept his mouth shut and not been so braggadocious about it, it might have lasted a little longer. But he was being so annoying. So annoying.
So Jarvis tells Omar he think he found a way to dethrone Eugene. So he tells them about Kevin. They was like, Kevin who? Right. They were like he basically like, you know which Kevin. So they want to take him to the next poker game so they can win their money back.
And Omar like, I don't want him over my uncle's house. Are you serious right now?
Right. He really ain't feeling that. Sounds like, you know, we kind of like doing something shady to my uncle. He was like, he been taking our money for years. So Greg was like kind of like the sound mind. He said, well, this could work in our favor. He was like, okay, we can get our money back by using Kevin, and the old heads can make fun of him. So it's like a win-win.
It is a win-win. And then you show Eugene on the radio talking about, and he mentions this lady calls in and she's like, oh,
Sherry. Remember her, y'all. Remember Sherry.
She's like, this is Cherry. And so his co-host is like, well, have you tried Christian mingling or something like that?
Because I can't say it right.
Because I can't say that one. And so she's like, no. And then he says, you know what? Hold up. I might have somebody for you.
She said, I'm just looking for a man with a passport and all his teeth.
And he was like, well, you eliminate half the population with that one. Yes. So yeah, you can tell that he's gonna introduce her to Booker. And then someone breaks into Jarvis's home while him and Lisa are sleeping. They hear a glass break and she's like, are you gonna go down? Or whatever. So
I said that that Jarvis got the Malcolm X and Martin Luther King treatment. So he's going down the steps with a bat.
I was mad about the bat. Now you're a real estate guy. You got all this banking. You got a bat. Where your Glock at? Your glizzy.
Right. So Jarvis going to the house in the bat saying, I'm armed. The police are on their way. I'm like, Negro, that is the police.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. They laughing at him like, boy, yeah. Because he doesn't have any enemies. So who else would be in his house
Exactly.
other than the police?
Yep.
So they break a vase and Lisa brings herself downstairs and she's like, and Jervis is still chanting, the police are on their way. The police are on their way. But there's nobody there. And then it fades to
black. Hey, y'all. So, again, y'all, you need to be watching this show if you are not. And if you are watching it, you see the little post. I said, once you watch it, then come to our show for the recaps and add your 2 cents. We want to hear from you.
2 cents. And also, they can still go on Speak Pipe.
Yep, you can go on, leave us an audio message on our website. It's called speakpipe.com/CamandK. It should be appearing right here for you. And again, like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you don't do anything else, like it, because that puts us in the algorithm and let YouTube know that we are making videos, and we show up in other people's feeds that have like similar channel to ours. Yes. And that subscribe is right at your fingertips. If you're watching on your phone, you should see the little subscribe button in the corner over there next to Cam in the corner there.
And then you need to share. If you like this content, share it with your friends. You can share it on your Facebook page, share it everywhere.
Yes.
So that we can get more viewers and we can keep doing what we doing and get some sponsors. You know what I'm saying?
Know what we saying? Know what we mean?
Know what I mean? Know what you mean, man? So again, thank you for joining us for the recap of the Johnsons here on Clink. Until next time.
Bye.
The spring water is so good.